Welcome to the Mind Over Money podcast with Jess and James.
Perhaps right now you have a poor relationship with money. And look, if you do have a poor relationship with money, you're not alone. I think most of the population have a poor relationship with money. And it's not because you're a bad person. It's because we're not taught this stuff in school. People are not taught about money management in school. Yeah, give me a yes in the chat box if you were not taught how to manage money in school. Give me a yes in the chat box if you were not taught how to manage money in school. Yeah. So yeah, look at this. Look at this. So many of us, right? Shocking, isn't it? Absolutely shocking. And that's the truth. Most of us are not taught about money in school. They don't teach us this stuff. I mean, why would they teach us this stuff? You know, half the teachers sadly struggle with this matter as well. Yeah. So maybe you have a poor relationship with money. Maybe right now you're struggling to make more of it. Possibly you're struggling to make more of it, or you struggle to make consistent income, because I know a lot of people, especially business owners, who live what's called feast and famine. There's never any consistent money coming in. It's like 1 month it's really good, 1 month it's not so good. It's up and down like a yo-yo, okay? Maybe you have money, but are unsure how to invest that money, yeah? Or perhaps you've invested before and it didn't work out. Maybe you've invested in something before and you lost some money, all right? Or let's be honest, you have money, but you're not sure who to trust. And that's very, very, very common. A lot of people have investment vehicles and strategies and this and this and this and this and this, but you've got to be very, very careful with who you trust. So where would you like to be instead? Well, would you like to be in a position where you know exactly what your money blueprint is, exactly what your attitude to money is? You're going to learn that whilst you're on this web class, by the way. Perhaps you'd like to be in a position where you know how to make even more money than what you have now, and make money consistently. That's the key here, okay? Consistent income is what we're heading for. That's the key here. Maybe you'd like to be in a position where right now your money is working for you, right? A lot of people work for their money. Look, let me tell you something. You own your money, not your money owns you. Please remember that. And you've got to make it work for you, not the other way around. Maybe you'd like to be in a position where you're getting consistent high returns on any cash that you deploy into any investment whatsoever. And better still, you'd like to know exactly where to invest and who to trust with your money. So would you agree, to get to where you'd love to be, something needs to change? Give me a 1 in the chat box if you agree. Something needs to change in order to get to where you want to be. Wherever you are right now, whether you've already got some money or you have zero money, in order to move forwards, give me a 1 down below. Thank you very much for those of you who are participating. Excellent stuff. Good. So here's the thing. That thing that I want to talk to you about is how you make money work for you. That's it. This is what I want to educate you on this evening. How to make money work for you. This is a unique yet simple approach to making more money, even if you are short on funds right now. So like right now, if you are short on funds, I'm going to show you how you can make some money. I did promise that to some of you who read the emails that went out. I'm going to show you how to make money even if you don't have any. Give me a yes down below if you find that interesting or intriguing. How to make money if you don't even have any. Yes? Good. Good. That's what I'm interested in sharing with you guys. You will see during this web class that some of us are overcomplicating making money. We're overcomplicating it. Yeah. So even if you're short on funds, or even if you have some in the bank already, I want to show you what you can do with that and why you should be doing something with that. So why is this topic so important? Why is it so important? Listen, never, more than ever, has it been important for people to take charge of their funds? Okay. Someone tell me in the chat box, what has happened to people's incomes and money during this crisis? Someone tell me in the chat box, what's been going on? Let's get you guys working now. Tell me. Yeah. We've got people saying it's gone down, reduced, run out. Yeah. Reduced, decreased, shrunk. Yeah. Look, some people have gone up. Yes. For the majority of people, though, they've had challenge. They've had challenges. Okay. So why is it such an important topic for you to listen to? Because here's what's happening right now. And I want you to write this down. What we are witnessing is something called the redistribution of wealth. Write that down. The redistribution of wealth. That is what we're seeing right now. Now, what do I mean by the redistribution of wealth? It means money hasn't disappeared. Money hasn't gone. Like when people say money's been lost, it's not lost. It's been redistributed. It's going elsewhere. For example, the restaurant that's closed down, they haven't lost any money. The money that used to be spent there is now being spent elsewhere. Give me a yes down below if this makes sense. Give me a yes if it makes sense. Yes, the money, they haven't lost money. The money's being spent elsewhere. So this is what we call the redistribution of wealth. And what we're seeing is even people who have a lot of money are also feeling the pinch. They're also feeling the pinch. So it's very important that you pay attention to this topic right now, because you need to do something about it right now. You've got to do something about it right now. And I tell you why you've got to do something about it right now is because at this very moment in time, there are some very, very, very unique opportunities available to us. There are very unique opportunities available to us. And there's a window of opportunity that you've got to jump on at the moment, especially when it comes to the redistribution of wealth. This is super duper, duper, duper important. Okay. So for those of you who don't know who I am, real quick, I'm actually an ex-psychiatric nurse turned entrepreneur. I qualified as a nurse back in 2004, I think it was. I went on to have a successful career in the private healthcare sector, becoming the youngest ward manager in the UK at the age of 27, managing a ward. But in the private sector, you're treated as a business person. You have to go out and sell. And I did. I had to sell beds to the NHS. I made my employer over £6.5 million selling beds to the NHS in just 2 years. And then 2009, during the last credit crunch, crash, financial crisis, whatever you want to call it, my employer made me redundant and I was taken out of my job. But that taught me a very valuable lesson, one that I wanted to share with every single one of you this evening. And that is nothing in life is secure unless you go and secure it yourself. That's really, really important. So I want you to make note of that, because a lot of us right now, if we're struggling with money, what you've got to understand is that it's your responsibility. Nobody else is to go and make that money. And that's why I want to equip you with some of these skills this evening. And to cut a long story short, I went back into business. I went and started my own healthcare business, which I built up. And basically, cut a long story short, that business made me financially free at the age of 31, which meant that I didn't have to work anymore. It also allowed me to go off and invest in other businesses, in other vehicles, in other strategies, including property, as well as other companies and things like that. Yeah. And to date, this stuff that I'm sharing with you, I'm talking to you right now from a place of conviction, because in 2015, I went through a divorce and I ended up losing pretty much everything. And then going back to a position where I have to build it all up again. I'm now the founder of just over seven companies. And I get to do what I love, which is sharing my gifts all around the world. I'm an international speaker. I've featured on national television a few times, as well as now being featured again later this year. Did anyone see me on Rich House, Poor House, by the way? Give me a yes down below if you saw me on TV or you've seen me on Rich House, Poor House. Oh, wow. Okay, quite a few of you. Awesome stuff. Appreciate you guys. And I'm just quickly rattling through this, and this is not to impress you in any way. It's just to show you that, I'm a kid who grew up in a rough part of East London, and I'm just very grateful that I listened to some incredible teachers and parents who guided me in the right direction and allowed me to actually do the right things rather than the wrong things. I could have made some really, really, really wrong decisions. So thank you guys. Some of you, saying that you saw me on TV. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. And for those of you asking, was I on The Apprentice? I got shortlisted for The Apprentice, and then I got told at the last minute that I was overqualified to be on the show. This is madness. Anyway, this is the politics within TV. But I'm only sharing all of this stuff with you to show you that I'm a normal guy. And I believe in freedom. I believe in having freedom. And I love traveling, and I love being with my family, and I love being with my friends. My parents are there down in the bottom right there. I'm very grateful for them. Super grateful for them for putting me on this planet. But now I dedicate my life to trying to repay them the best way I can, and money has been one of the ways that I've been able to do that. Because like you, maybe a lot of you listening right now, I grew up with a bad money blueprint. Yeah. Give me a one down below if you grew up around family, teachers, or parents who helped you develop a poor relationship with money. For example, don't spend, save, don't go into debt, pay for everything cash, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Look how many people, loads. And, the truth of the matter is, I'd love to blame my parents, but they were doing the best with the resources that they had. It was a lack of education. That's what it is, and I think sadly, a lot of us grow up with the same mentality. Yeah, look, Malcolm, how you doing, Malcolm? Good to see you. Money doesn't grow on trees. Yeah, these are some of the beliefs we grow up with. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. Heard that one before. Money is the root of all evil, and my belief on that is a lack of money is the root of all evil. If I'm very honest, people will kill for money. People will steal for money. People will drop their standards for money. That's what happens. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is, there's nothing special about me. There's absolutely nothing special about me whatsoever. But there's something very special about the way I have achieved success. And that is what I want to show you. I found this process is very easy to apply once you learn it, but you've got to learn it. Okay. So are you ready to learn it? Give me a yes down below if you're ready to learn this stuff. We're going to go straight into the content now. I don't want to mess about because I don't want to keep you guys here too long. Yeah. Excellent stuff. So before I proceed, I just want to chuck in this disclaimer, and I'm recording this just in case anyone come back later and says, Jason, you gave me this financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, just to be clear. Okay. You must do your own due diligence on anything that I share with you, and you must seek professional advice of your own if need be. It's very, very important that you do that. Give me a one down below if you understand this, please. Give me a one down below if you understand this. Okay. I am not a financial advisor. All right. I'm not that person. So please, please, please understand that. Okay. What I am, my good friend Chetan's on here, by the way, who actually is, he's a professional when it comes to finances and brokerage. He's my mortgage broker, but a good friend of mine as well. And he's on here just to make sure that if there's anything specific you need answering, I might call upon him in a little while. So Chet, are you up for that? Give me a yes down below. I know you always like talking. Good stuff. So let's crack on. Now, there are 5 steps to making money work for you. 5 steps to making money work for you. And it's as simple as this. Okay. Number 1, step 1 is money psychology. Step 1 is money psychology. What do I mean by this? Well, there are several things you need to know about money. You've got to understand your money blueprint. Many people don't understand their money blueprint. They want to go and make money, but what they're doing is they're carrying a money blueprint that doesn't serve them. Okay. So there are different money blueprints. Let's take a look at them. Number 1, the avoider. The avoider. Who is an avoider? An avoider is someone that actually doesn't like talking about money. They don't like talking about it. Yeah. And as I go through these, you might recognize some of these traits in yourself. Okay. An avoider doesn't like talking about money. They bury their heads in the sand. I see a lot of business owners who have an avoider mentality. They don't look at their figures. They don't look at their numbers. They don't even know how much money they're making. Like I see a lot of business owners, the only way they know whether they're making money or not is to log into their internet banking, keep their fingers crossed while it loads up. And hopefully when it does, there's some money in the bank. These are avoiders. Okay. Some of us don't like even talking about money. We don't want to know. Yeah. Like, for example, when I used to own a hair and beauty salon, the stylists in there did not want to talk about money. I offered to have my IFA come down to the salon and give them some free financial advice. I was paying him and they didn't want to know. They said, no, I'd rather die poor. And I couldn't believe this mentality, but now I understand that they're avoiders. Okay. And there are many people out there that are like that. Next, we have what we call the penny pincher. Who's the penny pincher? Penny pinchers, to keep it simple, are tight. They watch absolutely every single penny. They don't want to spend on anybody. They want to keep all their money. They're looking for deals all the time. constantly counting the pennies. They have no concept of value. They're just looking for every single penny to work the best for them. They're going to try and scrimp and scrape on absolutely everything, which ultimately prevents them from living their lives, and they really miss out on some key opportunities. Next, we have the savers. The savers are people who like to play it safe. Now, don't get me wrong. I highly recommend every single one of you, and I'm sure Chetan, who's listening, my good friend, will agree. Every single one of you should have a minimum, an absolute minimum of 3 to 6 months worth of savings in your bank that will help you pay your bills should you run out of money tomorrow. You should also have between 3 to 6 months of savings in your business account to help run your business, just in case you run out of cash flow tomorrow. These are basic principles when it comes to saving. Okay. However, here's the problem with super duper savers, people who just like to save all the time. They never have their money work for them. They're saving for a rainy day. What rainy day? What rainy day? It's raining at the moment. And here's what's happening to savers. This is what's going on right now. People who saved for a rainy day are spending their savings to live right now. And what I mean by that is this. COVID came and it hit people. All the savers were like, aha, told you, save your money for a rainy day. Guess what? None of those savers predicted that this predicament would last so long. And as a result of that, their cash reserves are depleting or have depleted. Give me a 1 down below if this is making sense, please. Give me a 1 down below if this is making sense. Yes? Savers saved all of this money, which is their principles were right. Save it just in case you need it. But because that money wasn't actually making them hardly anything, point whatever it is percent in the bank, they thought that was a good thing to do. Now, don't get me wrong. You should have some savings, but you should have your money working for you. Here's what's sad. I've seen people during this crisis, their savings have finished. And now what are they doing? They're selling their homes, going into rented accommodation and living off the profits of the sale of their house. That's what's happening at the moment. What will happen when that money runs out? God knows. God knows. So they don't have the mentality of investment. They just got a saving mindset. Okay. Next, we have spenders. We've got spenders. These are people who will spend absolutely every single penny that they've got, specifically to make them feel better. Yeah. Spenders are typically a bit reckless with money. They don't really think about it too much. They deploy that money in any way they feel fit, but usually it's linked to their self-esteem and wanting them to feel better. They like to buy big cars, nice things, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, but don't really have a way of actually replenishing that money. There's nothing wrong with spending money. Some of you who know me know I like flash things too. I like spending money too. However, you must replenish what you spend. Spenders don't necessarily do that. They typically tend to spend all their money before the month has finished. They also spend money they don't have. Yeah. Give me a 2 down below if you know any spenders, people who spend money they don't bloody have. Yeah. A lot of people do that. Okay. They spend money they don't even have. Yeah. Some people, some people are spending money before they even get it. Like there are people who are going, right, I'm getting paid on this day. And before I get paid, I know I'm going to buy this. Loads of people do that. Loads of people do that. Yeah. But there's another breed of money blueprint, which I want to introduce you to. And that's the smart money blueprint. The smart money blueprint. The smart money blueprint doesn't mean you need to be academically on point. No. What do I mean by being smart? I mean, being someone who understands when to save, being someone who understands when to spend, being someone who understands when to invest. This is what smart people do. This is a good money blueprint to have. You've got to be flexible with your money. You've got to be knowing what to do with it. Of course, you need to protect it, but you should also deploy it and have it work for you. Now, some other things around money psychology that you should be paying attention to. Understand your risk appetite. Understand your risk appetite. The first thing will happen if you go and meet any good independent financial advisor is they will carry out what's called a risk assessment on you. It's almost like a risk appetite assessment. They'll find out whether you have a high, medium, or low risk to investing? Yeah. So give me a yes down below if you've ever assessed your risk appetite. Like, are you a high? Are you a low? Are you a medium? What are you? Does anyone know? Give me a yes down below if you've ever assessed what you are. Yeah. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Me personally, I'm high. Anyone who knows me, I'm high. Yeah. Now, when I say I'm high, I haven't taken any drugs. All right. What I mean by that is I take risks. And Trevor, you've nailed it. I was just about to say that. I take calculated risks. Okay. I take calculated risks. I'm not reckless, but I also understand something that we're going to be covering on in a minute, risk to reward ratio. I'm fully aware of my risk appetite, and I'm happy to take that risk. And this is why, if you're getting into investment, you've got to understand your risk appetite. Not all investment vehicles are going to be for you. They're not going to be for you. And I'll explain why a lot of people get this wrong in a minute. Okay. The next mindset that you need to have is an investment versus cost mindset. An investment versus cost mindset. This is so important. I see so many people who treat everything like a cost, not an investment. They're going to say, how much? How much is that? What does it cost me? They're not looking at what it makes them. They've got a cost mindset, not an investment one. You must understand in life, if you're going to move forwards, you've got to start thinking about investing, not what it costs. For example, if someone says to you right now, like, hey, I've got a house for sale. It's only £100,000. And you've only got to find a 20% deposit, and I can get that property to give you between 8 and 9% yield on your money every single year. Someone with a cost mindset might go, how much? £20,000. It's going to cost me £20,000 to get involved in this. Oh no, I can't do that. That's because they got a cost mindset. Whereas an investor will come along and go, right, what's the return on investment on this? What will it make me? Long term, will it appreciate? Will I get this? Will I get that? Yeah. But a lot of people, they're taking themselves out of the game because of this blueprint of investment versus cost. So here's what I want you to do. In fact, let's be honest, seeing as we're all friends here, let's be absolutely honest. Give me a 1 down below if you've ever lost money before. Be honest with me, because I have lost lots of money before. A hell of a lot of money I've lost in the past. Yeah. Look at all these yeses. Look how many yeses we've seen. Yeah. So many people have lost money before. So here's what I want to say to you. Treat it as an investment. Sometimes you need to invest in messing up in order to find out what you should be doing right. Yeah. It's the way it works. And that also means sometimes you invest money with people who rip you off. That happens. I've been ripped off before too. It happens. Okay. But again, it's an investment. Sometimes you got to kiss a few frogs, as they say. It is what it is. But if I have a cost mindset, I would never invest again. That's what you got to think about. So for me, I've invested in my mistakes. And I want every single one of you listening to this right now to treat any mistake that you've ever made before, whether it's financial or even personal, as an investment. Because sometimes you might make a personal mistake, as in you might go out with someone that you wish you hadn't gone out on a date with. That's an investment. It's an investment in you finding out who not to date. It's very, very simple. Okay. So once we've got our money psychology on point, we need to go to step 2.
You've been listening to the Mind Over Money podcast with Jess and James. Don't forget to subscribe and follow on all the channels. Links in the show notes. Please also leave a review and visit www.jessandjames.com to find more resources on how to create the life you deserve.